Ford, driving the world for over a century. A peep into the history of Ford Motor Company by Untold Facts. From Marolli Edutech. Ford Motor Company is one of the most iconic and enduring names in the global automotive industry. Founded in 1903 by Henry Ford, the company revolutionized transportation with the introduction of assembly line production, making automobiles affordable and accessible to the masses. Headquartered in Dearborn, Michigan, Ford has played a pivotal role in shaping modern automotive manufacturing and design. Ford Motor Company sells a broad range of automobiles under the Ford marque worldwide, and an additional range of luxury automobiles under the Lincoln marque in the United States. The debut of the Model T in 1908 revolutionized mobility, with over 15 million units produced, establishing it as one of the most significant vehicles of the 20th century. The advent of the moving assembly line in 1913 significantly reduced production expenses and established a new benchmark for industrial productivity. In 1913, Ford unveiled the moving assembly line at the Highland Park facility. This groundbreaking advancement reduced the time required to manufacture a Model T from 12.5 hours to merely 93 minutes, significantly lowering costs and making automobiles accessible to the general public. In 1914, Ford astonished the business community by launching the $5 workday, more than twice the typical wage, while also shortening shifts to 8 hours. This strategy decreased employee turnover, boosted productivity, and enabled workers to purchase the very products they manufactured. By 1927, Ford unveiled the Model A, a more contemporary and fashionable vehicle, which succeeded the Model T. The original Ford Model A is the first car produced by the Ford Motor Company, beginning production in 1903. The Ford Model B is an upscale touring car introduced in 1904 by Ford, the first car to use the front-engine layout, with a large 24-horsepower two-cylinder engine positioned at the front behind a conventional radiator. The smaller Model A derived Model C positioned its flat two-cylinder motor under the seat. The term 1932 Ford may refer to three models of automobile produced by Ford Motors between 1932 and 1934. The Model B, the Model 18, and the Model 40. The Ford Model 48 was an update on Ford's V8-powered Model 40A, the company's main product. Introduced in 1935, the Model 48 was given a cosmetic refresh annually. The Ford Prefect is a line of British cars which was produced by Ford UK between 1938 and 1961 as an upmarket version. The Ford Anglia is a small family car that was designed and manufactured by Ford UK. It is related to the Ford Prefect and the later Ford Popular. The Anglia name was applied to various models between 1939 and 1967. The Great Depression impacted the auto industry, but Ford managed to survive through efficiency and strong branding. During World War II, Ford converted many of its factories to produce war materials, airplanes, tanks, and other military vehicles. The company famously built the Willow Run plant in Michigan, which produced one B-24 bomber every 63 minutes at peak capacity. The Ford car was thoroughly updated in 1941, in preparation for a time of unpredictability surrounding World War II. The 1949 Ford is a line of cars produced from 1949 to 1951 model years. The successor to the pre-war 1941 Ford, the model line was the first full-size Ford designed after World War II, becoming the first Ford car line released after the deaths of Edsel Ford and Henry Ford. The Crest line was produced in the United States for model years 1952 to 1954. Ford introduced child-proof door locks into its products in 1957, and in the same year, offered the first retractable hardtop on a mass-produced six-seater car. The Fairlane is an automobile model that was sold between the 1955 and 1970 model years by Ford in North America. Taking its name from the Dearborn, Michigan estate of Henry Ford, the Fairlane nameplate was used for 7 different generations of vehicles. Through its production, the model line was marketed in a variety of body styles, including 2-door and 4-door sedans, 2-door and 4-door hardtops, station wagons, and both traditional and retractable hardtop convertibles. The Galaxy is a car that was marketed by Ford in North America from the 1959 to 1974 model years. Deriving its nameplate from a marketing tie-in with the excitement surrounding the space race, the Galaxy was offered as a sedan within the full-size Ford range throughout its production run. In the full-size segment, the model line competed against the Chevrolet Impala and Plymouth Fury. The Ford Thunderbird is a personal luxury car manufactured and marketed by the company for model years 1955 to 2005, with a hiatus from 1998 to 2001. The Ford Falcon is a model line of cars that was produced from the 1960 to 1970 model years. The Ford Cortina is a medium-sized family car manufactured in various body styles from 1962 to 1982. It was the United Kingdom's best-selling car of the 1970s. The Ford GT40 is a high-performance mid-engined racing car originally designed and built by the company to compete in 1960s European endurance racing. Its specific impetus was to beat Scuderia Ferrari, which had won the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans race for 6 years running from 1960 to 1965. The Ford Torino is an automobile that was produced for the North American market between 1968 and 1976. It was a competitor in the intermediate market segment and essentially a twin to the Mercury Montego line. Ford responded with smaller, more efficient models like the Pinto and Escort, though not all were successful. The Ford Maverick is a compact car manufactured for model years 1970 to 1977 in the United States, originally as a two-door sedan employing a rear-wheel drive platform similar to the 1960 Falcon, and subsequently as a four-door sedan on the same platform. The Maverick replaced the Falcon in most of the world, but Australia kept selling and developing the Falcon. The North American version of the Ford Granada is a range of sedans that was manufactured over 2 generations, 1975 to 1982. Developed as the original successor for the Ford Maverick, the Granada shares its name with Ford of Europe's flagship sedan. The model line was marketed as a luxury compact vehicle, expanding the segment in the United States. The North American version of the Ford Escort is a range of cars that were available from the 1981 to 2003 model years. The direct successor of the Ford Pinto, the Escort also largely overtook the role of the European imported Ford Fiesta as the smallest vehicle in the Ford model line in North America. Produced across 3 generations, the first generation was a subcompact. The latter 2 generations were compact cars. Becoming highly successful in the marketplace, the Escort became the best-selling car in the United States after 1982, a position it would hold for much of the 1980s. The Ford Limited Crown Victoria is a line of full-size cars that was manufactured from the 1980 to 1991 model years. Deriving its name from the Ford Fairlane Coupe of 1955 to 1956, the LTD Crown Victoria served as the flagship of the Ford LTD model range in North America. Serving as the Ford counterpart of the Mercury Grand Marquis, the model line was offered as a 2-door and a 4-door sedan and a 5-door station wagon, including the wood-grained LTD Country Squire. The Ford Probe is a liftback coupe manufactured for model years 1988 to 1997 over 2 generations. The Probe was a byproduct of Ford's collaboration with its Japanese partner Mazda, and both generations derived from the front-wheel drive Mazda G platform of the Mazda Capella. The Ford Explorer is a range of SUVs manufactured since the 1991 model year. The first 5-door SUV produced by Ford, the Explorer, was introduced as a replacement for the 3-door Bronco II. As with the Ford Ranger, the model line derives its name from a trim package previously offered on Ford F-Series pickup trucks. As of 2020, the Explorer became the best-selling SUV in the American market. The Ford Fusion is a mid-size car that was manufactured from the 2006 through 2020 model years. 2 generations of the Fusion have been produced in gasoline, gas and electric hybrid, and gas and plug-in electric hybrid variants. The Fusion was manufactured at Ford's MOCO stamping and assembly plant in Sonora, Mexico, alongside the Lincoln MKZ, and formerly the Mercury Milan, of which share its CD3 platform. The Ford Escape is a compact crossover SUV manufactured since the 2001 model year. The first Ford SUV derived from a car platform, the Escape fell below the Ford Explorer in size. The Escape is currently sized between the Ford EcoSport and Ford Edge. The 2005 model year Ford Escape Hybrid was the first hybrid electric vehicle from Ford, and the first hybrid produced as an SUV. The Ford Edge is a crossover SUV manufactured for the 2007 model year as the first mid-size CUV marketed by Ford in North America. Now in its third generation, deriving its name from a trim package of the Ford Ranger, the Ford Edge is positioned between the Ford Escape and the Ford Explorer within the Ford product line. The Ford Flex is a full-size crossover SUV manufactured over a single generation from 2009 to 2019, as the successor to the Ford Taurus X. Unlike GM and Chrysler, Ford did not file for bankruptcy during the 2008 financial crisis. It had secured private loans before the crash, allowing it to restructure without a government bailout. This move earned Ford praise and boosted consumer confidence. The company streamlined operations, improved quality, and launched new models, including the fuel-efficient Fusion and the popular Escape SUV. Furthermore, Ford's legacy includes its wartime contributions, advancements in safety, and an unwavering commitment to leading technological innovations. Ford functions in more than 100 nations, featuring manufacturing plants, research and development centers, and a strong supply chain globally. In 2023, Ford produced 4.4 million automobiles and employed about 177,000 employees worldwide. This worldwide presence enables the company to adjust to local markets while upholding uniform quality and brand recognition. Similar to numerous traditional automakers, Ford has encountered considerable obstacles, spanning economic recessions, rivalry from global manufacturers, and the swift transition to electrification and self-driving vehicles. In response to these hurdles, Ford has implemented extensive restructuring initiatives, shuttered less productive facilities, and intensified its commitment to digital transformation. The organization has concentrated on updating its business framework, emphasizing connected vehicle services and eco-friendly production. Ford's future hinges on its capacity to merge tradition with innovation. As the automotive sector shifts towards electrification, autonomy, and mobility as a service, Ford is establishing itself as a frontrunner not only in vehicle manufacturing but also in shaping their usage. From the creation of the Model T to the electrification of the F-150, Ford persists in its evolution while remaining committed to its fundamental principles of innovation, quality, and customer centricity. Ford's history exemplifies resilience, reinvention, and an unwavering commitment to progress has significantly influenced global transportation and remains at the forefront of the automotive industry's shift towards a more connected and sustainable future. Thanks for spending your valuable time with us. Please share and subscribe to our channel.